Due to circumstances beyond our control, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley has safely arrived on the air on this Friday. It is the second day of November 2018. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Full disclosure, I'm a little punky this morning. There, got that out of the way. Not a lot of sleep last night. Still got a little residual high excitement, whatever you want to call it, from last night's incredible Bridge of Sportsmanship game between the Eastmont Wildcats, the champions of the Columbia Basin Big Nine, and the Wenatchee Panthers. It was a thriller. It was a nail-biter. It was a great, great football game between these two rivals. A cleanly played game. It was a wonderful time for everybody who had a really good time. Lee-Boston Field of the Apple Bowl was packed. We have an 8-minute highlight package to show you when we get to sports. You absolutely do not want to miss that. It was a great game. And kudos to both teams, both Eastmont, who move on to the state playoffs, and Wenatchee, who played them right to the very end. It was a great game. And if you watched it here on NCAA Live Channel, thank you. We appreciate it. Lots going on today. A lot of news to get to. We have a significant weather event that's coming our way. We'll talk about that in depth. We have a wind advisory for almost all of eastern Washington. It starts, well, now, 7 o'clock this morning, as a matter of fact, and it goes until 5 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to have some very strong winds, especially this afternoon. Those details are coming up. We'll also give you a pass report. They're expecting a lot of rain in the mountain passes, not a lot of snow, but it's going to be very difficult driving conditions over the weekend. As I mentioned before, we got a lot of sports to get to, most of it, of course, related to the Bridge of Sportsmanship game, the obscure holiday, birthdays, today in history. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNighty's opinion. And then the second half of the program, because it was so fun to do, we're going to replay the entire post-game celebration involving the Eastmont Wildcats, the interviews with the players and the coaches. You're going to shed a tear or two, the trophy presentation, the whole 9 yards, all the festivities after the Bridge of Sportsmanship game wrapped up last night will be part of our guest feature in the second half of the program. So if you're ready, and I know I'm ready, let's take you around North Central Washington, the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. There is, of course, the cross cam. Looks fairly well pulled back. That's back there a ways. That's as far back as that baby can go. And again, it's not that light out. If you walk outside your house and you look and you go, hey, it's not that light out. It's not that light out. The camera is trying to let in as much light as possible. This is not going to be an issue, by the way, on Monday, because daylight saving time comes to an end on Sunday morning. Sunday morning at 2 o'clock, it becomes Sunday morning at 2 o'clock all over again. You get 25 hours on Sunday, and that means by this time Monday we will have daylight again for our cameras around the valley. Camera number 2, where are we going to go, Kat? Kat decides. I want to say that's the monitor camera. That's the monitor camera. So the lights that you see is the greater Cashmere area. By the way, Coach Phil Zakowski, the Hall of Fame coach who coached at Cashmere for, 20 years, something like that. He did our color last night for the football game, and I think retirement is treating Phil quite well. He looks pretty good. He grew his hair long. It was good to see Phil. I haven't seen him in a long time. So there's a beautiful town of Cashmere. And you can see the clouds, and the camera's moving a little bit because the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. We also have some light drizzle, but rain is not the story today. It's going to be the wind. Stay close for that. Camera 3, we're going to take a look-see to number 1 Canyon, I want to say, Kat. That's Monument. Oh, so that's Quincy. That's beautiful Quincy, where opportunities are unlimited. In fact, we have a very interesting news story involving the Grant County PUD and the upcoming Tuesday election. We'll have that when we get to news. Beautiful Quincy. Good morning, Quincy. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be very windy out in the Columbia Basin today, too. And finally, camera 4 is a slow dissolve to Billy Goat. A beautiful camera, 7,000 feet above sea level is that Billy Goat camera. How they get there in the wintertime to maintain the Sky-Fi dishes and all the translators and repeaters up there, you got me. But they get up there somehow or another. They probably get up there just to enjoy that view. What a stunning view that is. Pateros is at the bottom of your screen. Brewster is in the middle of your screen. The mighty Columbia and the mighty Methow meeting each other and saying, how are you? Good Friday morning to you. And it is a good Friday. And thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCAA Live Channel. The weather forecast, boy, it's a weather smorgasbord. That cold front that came in yesterday is exiting the area, and when this happens, you got wind. There is your forecast. Look at that high. This is your peak winds today, folks. Take a look at where you live. Wind advisory is now in effect from 7 o'clock. It started about 6 minutes ago, goes until 5 o'clock this afternoon. So strong winds, we're talking about tree limbs could come down, power lines could blow into each other, and that of course causes power outages. If you drive a high profile rig, you're going to be buffered around a little bit. There's your timeline as the wind picks up in intensity. As you can see, right between 2 to 5 is going to be the strongest winds today. This wind advisory is not for everybody, it's for the following areas: Wenatchee, Chelan, Antioch, Cashmere, Waterville, Mansfield, Pullman, Colfax, Rosalia, La Crosse, Oakesdale, Uniontown, Pomeroy, Ritzville, Grand Coulee, Odessa, Wilbur, Coulee City, Moses Lake, Ephrata, Othello, and Quincy. Just those towns. If you don't live in those areas, you'll be fine. So once again, those are your peak winds today. You can see the direction. So if you're driving, say, north and south, that's going to be the worst thing. If you're driving west or east, you're going to have a tailwind or a headwind. But if you're driving north and south and you have a high-profile rig, especially one that doesn't have anything in it, you could get blown around quite a bit. So that is your weather story one more time. And but those highs, by the way, all the way through Tuesday are going to be above normal. And we were hoping for a pretty good looking weekend. Now it looks like it's going to be pretty cloudy on Saturday with some sun breaks on Sunday. Just a little bit of light rain here and there. Again, we just have to get through the wind. Real quickly on the mountain passes, there is no snow in the forecast, maybe some very light snow. The mountain passes, the big story is going to be, and this is all weekend long, there's a flood advisory for all of the major mountain passes as the cold front exits and this next system comes in, which is going to bring all the wind. The rain is going to come down in buckets on I-90 and on Stevens especially, not so much on Blewett, but they're all going to get heavy, heavy rain. They could see upwards of maybe a foot of rain by the time Monday comes around. That's a lot of rain for the mountain passes. So standing water is definitely an issue, especially on I-90. Snoqualmie Pass, they're going to be dealing with areas of standing water and some possible hydroplaning issues going on right now all the way through Sunday night into Monday. So if you're driving to the mountain passes, you won't have to worry about snow, but you're going to have to worry about heavy, heavy rain. Make sure you got a brand new set of windshield wipers. You're going to need them. It is 7 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. Well, you got your Friday morning news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio One in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I came here to CVCH because one of my friends referred me. When I met Dr. Jocelyn, she was just amazing. She connected with my son and it meant so much to me. He opens up so quickly because she just sits there and plays with him. It really is like going to see a friend. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and respected. It just feels like home.
Join us Tuesday, November 6th for live coverage of Election 2018. NCW Life will be on the air live from 7:30 to 9 with results, analysis, interviews, and special guests. Eric Granstrom will be our studio host, and reporters Steve Hare and Dan Kuntz will be in the field providing up-to-the-minute results from all the races. In addition, we'll have expert analysis of the national and statewide races. The NCW Life channel, your local source for Election 2018.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Have you ever seen Steve Hare look better? Steve has been working a modified schedule this week because Grant Olson, of course, has been on assignment and will be on assignment for parts of next week as well. So although Steve is in the building and sitting no further than 25 feet away from me, I'll be handling the news once again on this Friday morning. And OMAC police are asking for help identifying those responsible for placing straight pins in Halloween candy. Officers say 2 separate people who have been trick-or-treating within the city limits of OMAC reported finding straight pins in their children's candy. Excuse me. One of those candy packages was turned into the OMAC Police Department. Both complainants reported finding a straight pin in a small box of Nerds candy. The plastic tip on the straight pin was the same color as the candy within the box. It was also reported that a similar straight pin was found inside the packaging of a small Snickers bar. OMAC Police Department is investigating. No suspects have been identified. Well, the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission has received 2 complaints about donations made for races involving the Grant County Public Utility District Commissioner posts. The complaints, which the PDC has yet to review or make determinations about, involve a group called AG Power Users of Grant County. The filings allege that the group has contributed more than $55,000 to the campaigns of Judy Wilson and Nelson Cox without disclosing the source of those funds or filing as a political action committee. One complaint was made by Don Long of Soap Lake. He was an unsuccessful candidate for PUD commissioner 10 years ago and a former PUD employee. The other complaint came from Emery Dinman, who is a reporter with the Columbia Basin Herald in Moses Lake. The PUD races have also seen an infusion of donations from data centers who have been at odds with agricultural interests over power rate structures. Well, with control of the U.S. House of Representatives potentially hanging in the balance, money has been pouring into Washington's 8th congressional district race between Republican Dina Rossi and Democrat Dr. Kim Schreier. In fact, MarketWatch.com, they track spending in all the federal races. They say the Rossi-Schreier race is the most expensive House race in the nation. $25.6 million has been spent thus far. Of that, $16.3 million has been spent by outside groups. The 8th Congressional District was created in 2012 by the Washington State Redistricting Commission. It stretches across the mountains to include traditionally Republican counties in Chelan and Kittitas County and parts of traditionally Democratic counties. Pierce and King. Republican Representative Dave Reichert has held the seat since its inception but decided not to seek re-election this year. They have set the date finally. City Hall is going to be moving on November 26th as the city of Wenatchee packs up their current City Hall and basically walks across the street about a half a block away to the former Federal Building. Steve King is the city's economic development director, and he said most city operations will be upstairs in the new City Hall until a remodel on the ground floor entrance area, that includes offices and council chambers, is completed. That'll probably be in 2020. The words Federal Building and Post Office on the building will be replaced with City Hall, although the city's original white painting is still being painted black. Also, by 2020, the Social Security Administration is expected to move their offices from the Federal Building to the vacated City Hall building. By the way, the last Wenatchee City Council meeting in the current City Hall will probably be on December 6th. Well, the fall leaves are carpeting the forest floors. Snow now covers some of the mountain peaks, and that means the passing of the fall season. And with those seasonal changes comes the opportunity for families to purchase their Christmas tree permits from the Okanagan and Wenatchee National Forest. Permits went on sale today for $5 each. They're available at all Ranger District offices and the forest headquarters in Wenatchee. Free permits are available to 4th graders as part of the national Every Kid in a Park initiative. 4th graders with a valid Every Kid in the Park pass can get one free holiday tree cutting permit from the Okanagan Wenatchee National Forest. Each permit allows a family to cut one tree. The tree height limit, by the way, is 15 feet, or you can dig a small live transplant tree. Permits may be purchased in person or by mail and are limited to 2 permits per family. The permits are non-refundable and you can only use them in the Okanagan and Wenatchee National Forest. Bud's Barber Shop has been a long-time social gathering spot in the south end of town for decades. It's been a place for opinions on everything from hunting and fishing and sports and politics. They free flow down there at Bud's. Bud Overton passed away about 5 years ago. His daughter Connie now runs the business. Our very own Steve Hare needed a haircut, so he dropped by yesterday morning, talked to some of the regulars at Bud's about the current events, including last night's big game.
What makes this such a special place?
It's an old school barbershop. It's kind of like the Mayberry barbershop. This is where guys come in, get their hair cut, and stay a little bit. Maybe there's a little mini golf here, have some popcorn, coffee, tell lies and fish stories, that sort of thing. It's just an old school barbershop. I've been coming here for years, and most mornings you can find me here before I head to the office. I come in even when I don't need a haircut. Although this haircut, even though it's short, I need it cut quite a bit, so it gets shaggy pretty quickly.
So obviously a lot of opinions shared here at the barber shop.
Yeah, a lot of opinions. Sometimes they turn into arguments, but not too often. So now with everybody having a phone, we can settle most arguments. When people make claims that aren't true, you can get on Google and prove them wrong, but we still let them go on and on.
So Bud's is a special place, obviously, and it's also the home of the Southside Gentlemen's Club. Tell us about that.
Well, the Southside Gentlemen's Club was started by Bud when Bud was still alive, and it started out as just a small get-together on Friday evenings at 4 o'clock when the shop closed. A few guys had stopped by to have a drink, and then Bud just kept expanding. It turned into kind of a big potluck. He'd make oysters and frog legs and all kinds of things, and more people stopped by, and it became a real kind of a speakeasy almost on Friday nights, and then someone labeled us the Southside Gentlemen's Club. And after we were finished here, we'd head down to the American Legion. There was a table reserved for the SSGC members. So those were good times. The guys are falling off. A lot of vets, a lot of Vietnam vets, and so guys are getting passing and stuff. So it's a smaller group all the time, but great memories of the Southside Gentlemen's Club for sure.
Well, we came down here initially to get some opinions on tonight's big game between Eastmont and Wenatchee. Certainly a lot riding on this one tonight. What's your prognostication?
Eastmont, I think, will clearly win. It's a little bit of a David and Goliath versus the two schools, but I got to go with Eastmont. My daughter's a junior at Eastmont. She's a varsity swimmer there, so I'm sticking with Eastmont. I think they win by 2 touchdowns, say 24-10.
So what do you think, Connie?
I don't have a dog in the race on that game, so, and I got customers from both sides, so for once I got to be an impartial barber.
How about you, sir? Who's going to win tonight, Wenatchee or Eastmont?
I'm not saying either way.
Bud's Barber Shop is located on South Wenatchee Avenue, very close to Stan's Mary Mart, in fact, just north of Stan's Mary Mart. Tune in at 5 for the 5 o'clock news for part 2 of our feature of Steve gets his ears lowered. Yes, it's come to that now. we get news where we can get news. Speaking of news, Eric Granstrom has been pulling triple duty all this week while Grant sits on the beach in Maui and drinks Mai Tais, but Grant deserves some vacation, and we're glad he's unwinding with some good friends. So Eric is handling the news today, plus the weather, plus sports, and you can watch it at 5, 6, and 10. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, our evening news in one nice little half-hour package. Everything you need to know to get your weekend going. 5, 6, and 10 with Eric Granstrom, also available on demand on our website at ncwlife.com. You can watch it live as we stream everything that we do. Constantly, 24/7 is streamed on our website. You can go to the Watch Live Now icon or watch on demand once we get the news up and running and posted not only on our website, but on our Facebook page. And if something out there is going on that you think deserves our attention, the bottom of the screen is one of the many, many ways you can get a hold of us. You can call us directly. You can email us news@ncwlife.com. You can use our website, ncwlife.com, and just click on the Contact Us button and we'll get it. Whatever it takes, you can Facebook message us. We just love to hear from you. This is as much your station as it is ours. It's 18 minutes after the hour. Real quickly, a friendly reminder, we do have a wind advisory for north central Washington for the entire day today. Between 2 and 5, serious winds upwards of 40 miles an hour. It's very warm outside of our studios. 52 outside of our studios in downtown Wenatchee, on our way to a high of 62. Going to take a break. When we come back, sports. Wonder what our lead sports story is going to be. We'll find out in about a minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. This Saturday is Health Alliance Northwest Medicare information in the LocalTel Event Center at Pybus Public Market from 10 to 2. Come learn about plans and ask questions. Also Saturday is the Pray for Snow concert in the parking lot behind Arlborg Sports from 6 to 10 p.m. Come celebrate the start of winter and the upcoming ski season. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
20 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I am Dan Kuntz. Rarely does a game that is hyped as much as last night's Bridge of Sportsmanship game actually live up to its billing. Last night it did, and the Eastmont Wildcats are the champions of the Columbia Basin Big Nine, 14-13. The final, the 50th Bridge of Sportsmanship game last night, Eastmont and Wenatchee. It was a packed leap off the field of the Apple Bowl, a classic game. Eastmont grabbed a 14-0 lead. Wenatchee came back. They closed within 7 at halftime. It was the third quarter, scoreless but entertaining, and then the Panthers looked as though they were going to tie it to start the fourth quarter. Camden Searman's second rushing touchdown of the night happened, but the extra point sailed wide left. Eastmont had a 1-point lead following an Eastmont turnover. Wenatchee moved to the 37-yard line. They had a 37-yard field goal attempt, I should say. The field goal just missed. The Wildcats take a knee, run out the clock. Champions of the Big Nine, their first league title since 2012. Eric Granstrom and good old Coach Z, Phil Zakowski, were there. Here's 8 minutes of highlights. Enjoy.
Send a receiver wide to the left side, and that's Logan Easley. And then back to pass Everhart, looking downfield, throwing, and wide open as Kalen Massey comes up with a football. He's loose at the 35-30, 25-20, taking it all the way into the end zone for a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. Eastmont sets the tone here early with a 63-yard touchdown strike. 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Panthers. Ball right hash mark. They have 4 receivers in the formation. They'll send Carlson in motion. Looking his way is Sermon. He's still rolling. Now the ball tipped in the air and almost intercepted, or is it? It is. Picked off on the tip. There was nobody open, and the ball intercepted by Jeremy Gregerson. The outside linebacker comes up with the interception, and a turnover here for Wenatchee on its first possession of the game. Oh, good coverage downfield. He had nobody to throw that ball to. Talley in the backfield. He'll get the handoff left side, and he will go into the end zone. Touchdown, Eastmont. And the Wildcats have broken it open 13-0. Christopherson, here comes the defense squirting through. Back to pass, has pressure, going to be thrown for a loss on the play. Eastmont getting through as he showed that he was going to come, and then he did, and Jaron Schneider comes up with a big sack all the way back to the 32-yard line.
Well, Schneider showed the A-side gap blitz and went through untouched.
And Eastmont doesn't send anybody back here. And now the high snap goes clear over Nassar's head. Nassar scrambling after it. Now rolling out. Now he's going to punt the ball away. And what an athletic play for Fadas Nassar as the ball will take a Wenatchee bounce. Head inside the 10 and down to the 5-yard line, snatching something out of what could have been a disaster. And Eastmont will have the ball at its own 5-yard line. Wow. The battle for the Bridge of Sportsmanship, and Eastmont, if they can hold on to a lead here, will outright win the Big Nine championship and get the seed to the state tournament next week. Counter play inside. The ball's free on the ground, and who's going to get it? Wenatchee football. There is a momentum swing of all time as Wenatchee came up with the football. Derek Graham got the loose ball on that counter play. It wasn't clean in the backfield. They tried to go with the counter. I believe it was looking for Victor Welton, number 2, and he never got it.
They were looking to run a double handoff scissors play and pulling linemen, and that's a dangerous play when you're backed up against your own end zone for this very reason.
Mason Brown splits out wide to the left. You got to think they'll just go to that ground game one more time. Sermon's going to keep it himself. The knee must be fine, thank you, as he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. Fans rising to their feet here in the Apple Bowl tonight. Mason Brown splits out wide to the far side of the field left. 4th down and 1. Turn, handoff to Blauman. He got the first down and more. Still chugging, carrying bodies as he goes down to the 30-yard line. One of the strongest runs of the night by Nate Blauman. Camden Sermon right under his center will put a man in motion. He will take the snap, dive play in, and he is close to a touchdown. He certainly has the first down. And it will be a first down and goal from about the 1-yard line, about the 1-foot line. And he's going to go with a hurry up and probably run the same thing again. Linebackers cheating in for Eastmont. Sermon takes the snap, leans forward, and he is in. Touchdown, Wenatchee. They're an extra point for tying up the Bridge of Sportsmanship. Camden Sermon comes out of that pile, fired up. So the second touchdown run of the night by the sophomore quarterback Camden Sermon. Now the all-important extra point. Fadas Nassar, and it is no good! No good! It missed it left! Oh my! It looked like they had a problem with the snap, and then the extra point sails wide to the left. My, oh my. So Eastmont will still lead it 14-13. It's like watching the tide go in and out on the beach. The one wave comes in, then the water is sucked back out. Don't know where that pebble or that football may end when it's all said and done. Second down, 11 from the 36. Everhart fakes the handoff, wants to throw downfield. He's got a man, but it's picked off by Dalton Thomas to the 30 on the return. Thomas looking for a block to the 35, going to be tackled down right there, but Dalton Thomas steps in front of a man that looked like he was wide open. The interception, momentum heavily for the Panthers. Second turnover by Eastmont of the game. A handoff, Blauman, and he is driven back. Jaron Schneider getting some help from Christian Flores. A loss on the play. Oh, what a Donnybrook we have going here. Wenatchee scored moments ago on a great drive, 14 plays. Now Sermon back to pass, throws quickly out of the flat. It's Riley Kuntz. Kuntz is quickly dropped. But one thing's for sure, anytime Wenatchee's made a completion, the Eastmont defensive backs have been right there.
They're so fast to react. It's amazing. They're playing 10 yards off at times, and they come up and make the play at 1.
But the Panthers, trailing by 1, want to press the issue here. Sermon looks right, has pressure, looks back left, now throws and overthrows his intended receiver. And a good job, of coverage as well as pressure by the Eastmont defense. Max Frazier and company getting in there. Turns, hands it off, first man. Carson Talley has a gap to the 40, 45, and it fumbles the football. It's picked up by Wenatchee. Back the other way come the Panthers, and Wenatchee will have the football on the fumble recovery by Jackson Bowles. Oh, what a great run for Carson Talley, and then he coughed the ball up. And then Jackson Bowles comes up with it. Momentum swing back to Wenatchee.
And the tide goes in and out.
Yeah, we don't know where that pebble is going to end up. Nate Blauman asking for the fans to get behind him here. He's been a workhorse here in the second half. Maybe he's going to get the handoff again. He will. Eastmont smells it out and makes the tackle for a loss on the play. Shooting the gap and making the stop, the sophomore Max Frazier. They'll put it at the 27. A 37-yard field goal by Fadas Nassar. The spot by Mason Brown. The snap is back. The spot down. The kick away. No way. It's a third down coming up from the 40-yard line. Let's see what they've dialed up here on this third down play. Everhart starts barking it out. The defense holds pat. Now he'll relay the play to his offensive line. Turn. Fake the handoff, and then handoff to Massey. Massey's got room, and he is going to be close. It's going to depend on the spot. He was across the 45. So close. So close. Could it come down to a spot to determine this one? First down, Eastmont. Meanwhile, for the Eastmont Wildcats, they won't have to worry about a mini playoff on Saturday. They can get themselves ready for the first round of the state 4A tournament as Eastmont has won its first Big 9 championship since 2012. The Wildcats are the Big 9 champions.
What an atmosphere at the game last night. Just incredible. Nate Blauman, by the way, led the Panthers. He had a great night, 116 yards rushing, carried the ball 31 times. Caleb Massey, 58 yards on 14 carries. Carson Talley, he rushed 18 times for 64 yards and a touchdown for Eastmont. Massey also collected that 63-yard touchdown reception that you saw early in the game. Camden Searman scored both of Wenatchee's touchdowns. He was 7 of 18 passing for 40 yards. Eastmont, 9-1 on the season, with the win. Now they sit and they wait. On Sunday night, they'll find out whom they play and where they'll play in the first round of the State 4A tournament. Wenatchee's season comes to an end with a 6-4 record. We're going to have most of the post-game celebration coming up on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, including Eric's interviews with all the players and Eastmont coach Michael Dunn. Don't miss that. That's going to come up here in about 15 minutes. Coming up on the prep football schedule tonight, Cashmere on the road. They'll take on Lakeside 9 Mile Falls, while Cascade is at Deer Park. Those games get going at 6. Chelan has a 7 o'clock kickoff at Medical Lake. Antioch hosts Republic. On the prep volleyball schedule, Eastmont, they'll celebrate senior night tonight. They'll take on Moses Lake at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, Chelan hosts Colville, while Cascade travels to Lakeside 9 Mile Falls at 1 o'clock in the CTL Northeast A Glue crossover games. Turning to soccer, Eastmont will play for the district championship. They'll be down in Yakima to take on West Valley. That game starts tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Cascade has a noon kickoff at Lakeside 9 Mile Falls. Freeman will play at Cashmere in girls soccer at 1 o'clock. These are CTL Northeast A Glue crossover games. The winner goes to state. For the loser, their season is done. Well, the Wenatchee Wild looking to bounce back tonight against the West Kelowna Warriors. They'll drop the puck at the Town Toyota Center at 7 o'clock. Then they'll host the Powell River Spruce Kings tomorrow at 7. College football. Oh, let me tell you about the football. Eastern Washington travels to Northern Colorado. Central will be at Southwest Baptist. Both of those games kick off at 11 a.m. Washington limping home to take on Stanford. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff on the Pac-12 network. And the number 8 Washington State Cougars have Cal in Pullman. Dad's Weekend, 7:45 kickoff on ESPN. And finally, let's talk Seahawks. They're at home on Sunday. They'll host the Los Angeles Chargers. Why can't I get used to that? Phillip Rivers and the Bolts, they're off to a 5-2 start. Seahawks looking good. They've been playing good football. They're 4-3. Kickoff Sunday, CenturyLink Field, 105 on CBS. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday, 32 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today. I love deviled eggs. Kat, the executive producer of this show, loves deviled eggs. It is Deviled Egg Day today. About as good as it gets. The history of deviled eggs goes all the way back to ancient Rome, believe it or not. How did it get its name, deviled eggs? Well, the term deviled anything dates from the 18th century. If food was spicy or hot or had a certain pizzazz to it, they called it deviled food, and that's why deviled eggs are still what they are. Does it get any better than deviled eggs? And the key to making deviled eggs, by the way, because you got to put a little mustard in it, obviously, is to use ground mustard, not liquid mustard out of a bottle. You want to use ground mustard. That's the way to go. And it's easy to make, and they're so good. Deviled eggs. Enjoy about a dozen of them today. I love deviled eggs. Sometimes they don't love me. Let's do today in history. Happy birthday to the Dakotas. Both North Dakota and South Dakota joined the Union on this date, November 2nd, 1889. North Dakota officially is the 39th state. Fun facts about North Dakota. The state slogan is legendary. The state beverage of North Dakota is milk. And North Dakota is the nation's largest producer of beans, honey, and wheat, and the nation's smallest producer of tourists. Apparently people just don't like to visit North Dakota, there then. And happy anniversary to South Dakota. South Dakota is the 40th state of the Union. Their state slogan is great faces, great places. The state animal is the coyote. Yes, the coyote is the state animal of South Dakota, and the state anvil comes from the Acme Anvil Company, the official anvil of South Dakota. Happy birthday to the Dakotas, there then. November 2nd, 1947, he wasn't supposed to fly the plane. It was just a press event. We're going to get in the plane. I'm going to fly, kind of drive it around the harbor. I'm talking about Howard Hughes and the Spruce Goose, the H-4. He flew it. Its maiden voyage happened on this date 71 years ago today. It was the only flight it ever took. That was it. That's about as high off the ground as it got as well. The largest fixed-wing aircraft ever built, the Spruce Goose. That plane flew. Howard Hughes behind the oak. It flew. It landed. It never flew again. Happened on this date 71 years ago today. And this is the anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It was on this date, November 2nd, 1983. President Ronald Reagan, 35 years ago today, signed the bill that creates Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And you can see the ceremonies there on your television screen. That's today in history. And finally, we got historic birthdays for you. Daniel Boone was a man. He was a big man. Daniel Boone, one of the very first folk heroes, really, in this country's history, the hunter and the explorer, was born on this date in 1734, lived a long time, lived to the age of 85. He did it all. He was an explorer, a woodsman, a frontiersman, mapped out a great deal of the areas that he went. He was really one of the first folk heroes, and the story of Daniel Boone is really an incredible story. I know we just think about it, we mythologize people, but read the story of Daniel Boone. It's a fascinating stuff. Daniel Boone was born in the state in 1734. And a couple of presidents. James Knox Polk was born on this date in 1795. He was the 11th president of the United States. He's considered by many to be one of the very best one-term presidents ever. When he ran for election, he said, "I'm just going to serve one term and that's it." And he did almost everything that he wanted to do in his 4 years as a presidency. He remains to this date the only Speaker of the House of Representatives to be elected president, and he had the shortest retirement of all the presidents. He was a workaholic, and the job pretty much killed him. 103 days after he left the office, that was it. He was gone at the age of 53. James K. Polk, born in the state in 1795. And Warren G. Harding, the American journalist and politician. He was the 29th president of the United States. He was born in the state in 1865, died under mysterious circumstances at the age of 57. When he died, he was very popular. The nation mourned his untimely death, and then it was after he died when a whole subsequent series of scandals, the Teapot Dome scandal began to erode his reputation. Historical rankings of U.S. presidents, they put Warren G. Harding right down there near the bottom, but he was born in this date in 1865, 36 minutes after the hour. We have a brand new opinion from Mike Mignotti coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Everybody's entitled to Mike Mignotti's opinion. Then if you missed all the shenanigans and the celebration and the fun, everything that happened after the Bridge of Sportsmanship game with the Eastmont Wildcats, the Wenatchee Panthers, we're going to have that in a nice little segment you don't want to miss. Get out the tissues. You're going to be crying a little bit. It's all coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Did you know that our pets can put on extra weight just like us? Obesity is the most common preventable disease in dogs and cats. Your pet's excess weight can lead to health issues like joint pain, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, and more. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff at Paws and Claws Veterinarian Hospital care about your pets, and they can help you keep them lean and healthy. Call Paws and Claws today at 888-PAWS or find them on the corner 4th and Isle in East Wenatchee.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza. Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, the federal assault weapons ban of 1994 banned the following weapons: semi-automatic rifles that were able to accept detachable magazines and have 2 or more of the following: a folding or telescoping stock, a pistol grip, a bayonet mount, a flash suppressor, and a grenade launcher. Okay, fine. But you know what weapon the ban didn't cover? A Ruger Mini 14 rifle. What's relevant about this weapon is that it shoots in semi-automatic mode, can accept the 30-round magazine, and fires a .223 caliber round, just like the AR-15. But the Ruger's not considered an assault weapon. Give that some thought. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started, and why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life Channel.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. There's something for all ages at Wenatchee Valley Mall. No matter what the weather, the kids will have fun in one of the many play areas around the mall. Sign your kids up for fun adventures and super specials when they join the Kids Club. It's a great time for kids and an even better time out for parents. Check out specials and events 24/7 at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. It's your Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come shop today.
And we are back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Once again, congratulations to the Eastmont Wildcats, victorious last night in the 50th edition of the Bridge of Sportsmanship game, 14-13. The final, the Wildcats over the Wenatchee Panthers. We just showed you an 8-minute highlight package. You'll probably get a chance to see that numerous times over the next few days. But we wanted to isolate the post-game celebration with Eric Granstrom and the happy Eastmont Wildcats. Check this out.
We pulled it out in the end, and it just feels amazing right now.
You guys get that early lead. It looked like, wow, this is going to be a barn burner here tonight, but then it settles into a defensive game.
Yeah, I thought so too. We were up 14-0. I thought we had the command, all the energy, and then they just fought hard, and we fought hard too. It was a great game. All respect to them.
Get in on that picture there. All right, he's going to get in on the picture as we have the Wildcats celebrating, as they should, 14-13, the final here tonight on the NCW Life Channel. We got Bruce Bennett, who's figuring up the stats right now. He's going to bring those down. It was Eastmont leading at 14-7 at halftime. Wenatchee would come back and take a lot of momentum in the second half, get some turnovers, convert one of those into a touchdown, and had a chance to tie the game on an extra point that went wide to the left. That was the difference. They also had a field goal chance from 37 yards out. That went wide left. Let's listen in to the celebration.
Messi,
Kalen, over here. Come on.
I'm not going to be able to keep this thing.
Okay.
I'm not keeping this
Oh.
thing, dude.
Come here. Caleb Massey. Come on. That's okay, buddy. That's okay. Congratulations. I mean, obviously, what a game tonight.
Yeah, hell of a game. Offense came out, just hitting on all cylinders. Had a little bump in the road for most of the game, actually, but came out, made a couple adjustments, and finished strong. That's all I could ask for right here. Worked so hard for this since the beginning of freshman year. It's just shout out to all our linemen, running backs, defense played lights out tonight. Couldn't have done it without them.
Boy, the defense really came through for you guys. The way the game started, I mean, your first play from scrimmage, you get loose for 63 yards, you bump off of a guy and take it into the end zone. Did you guys just think, okay, we're rolling here tonight?
I mean, that's what you kind of got to stop yourself from doing so you don't get, too ahead of yourself because, yeah, that happened, but that was the first play of the game. There's still almost 4 quarters left of football left to play, so you kind of have to enjoy the moment and then settle down and go back out there and try and do it again.
Well, congratulations. Not only the Bridge of Sportsmanship, but a Big 9 championship. We talked last summer before you guys ever started. You were a quarterback back then. Now you come through with a huge catch tonight. What does this mean for you and your team?
Oh, this means the world to us. We've been working so hard. Everyone's doubted us this entire season. We've continued to prove people wrong. It's unreal feeling right now.
I'm gonna let you go celebrate with your team. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Caleb Massey joining us here on the postgame show. We're going to try to get some more of the Wildcats as we continue on here, as it is a 14-13 finale for the Bridge of Sportsmanship and the Big 9 title, and a chance, not just a chance, they're heading to the state tournament, are the Eastmont Wildcats. All the Bridge of Sportsmanship and, more importantly, the Big 9 championship goes to the Eastmont Wildcats. 14-13. They edge Wenatchee here tonight. Talking with Michael Dawn. You probably don't even feel that water over the top of your head right now, do you?
No, I don't really feel too cold, but it was a little cold at first. I didn't see it coming. I was like, oh, man, what's going on? The second one was the one that got me. They got me over here. I was like, geez, where'd that come from? But, hey, these are great opportunities. They're few and far between. I think this is the 5th one in school history, so we're excited to be where we are.
The way the game started, I mean, you of course draw that up, right? But you don't expect that, do you? I mean, 63 yards and touchdown, and you're rolling, looks like.
We looked last year at film. They pulled their safety over. We had run a version of that against Davis for a touchdown earlier this year, but we knew that they would if we ran it the way we ran it last time, their safety would get over the top. So we drew it up a little bit differently to where we could isolate the safety on our tight end. You got to be on our 6'4" tight end, and then we would isolate Massey one-on-one on the backside with the linebacker who doesn't run as well as him, and then we were able to get over the top, and then he just made it all happen after that. He made some guys miss, and he was gone.
You get up 7-0, you get an interception, suddenly you're up 14-0, and I'm thinking, my goodness, what is going on here? Well, Wenatchee showed that they came to play tonight as well.
Yeah, no, they were resilient. I mean, I'm super impressed with their group. Dev does a great job of getting kids to play hard. I'm amazed every year in this game. It doesn't matter what's going on, how it's going, somehow the game ends up close. For year one, we get 5 interceptions, we win by 5. It's still a 14-9 game. Year two, it's, we lose by 3. I think it was like 20-17. Year 3, we come back here and we win by 2 in overtime, and then this year we win by 1. We know how to make it entertaining, I'll tell you that. Fans definitely got their money worth.
Yeah, we appreciate that for good TV too, Coach. Let's talk about your defense in that second half. I mean, it was kind of a bend, not break type of a situation. You had a couple of turnovers there. Wenatchee seemed to gain momentum. They had a chance to tie it up at one point, but man, your defense was just stellar tonight.
Yeah, no, our defense is phenomenal. They've played that way all year. It's a veteran young group. It's hard to say that, but we've got 3 seniors on the group, and you look out there and you're like, oh, we got 3 seniors. That's a young group, but almost all of them started last year, and so we're just kind of pulling back. I think I'm right. Am I right?
Yep.
No, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
4. we have 4 seniors on defense. I can't count my own kids. I'm glad you got this here. I got my cheat sheet. But we got 4 seniors, 7 underclassmen. That's a fun group.
Let's talk about some of those guys that came through for you tonight. I thought the freshmen. Hey, there we go. We got Jaron Schneider here. We're talking about the defense. Come on in here, Jaron. This guy right here was flying around all night and putting some sticks on some people.
He was everywhere. That was the best game I've seen Jaron Schneider play as a Wildcat. He was making tackles. He was at the line of scrimmage. He was carrying it. I mean, you can't play better than that.
Let's talk to Jaron. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
You were hair on fire tonight. I mean, tell me about this game for you.
Well, I worked like my whole high school career for this game. I worked for just this moment. I didn't get to play in it last year. I made sure to make this one a special one.
Well, make it a special one you did. Not only do you guys get the Bridge of Sportsmanship again, but you also get the Big 9 title. I imagine that Big 9 title means a little more than that Bridge of Sportsmanship right now.
Yeah, it's all our hard work finally paid off, and it feels great.
Can you sum this up? I mean, we talked to Caleb Massey, and tears were coming down his face. I mean, you could tell that there's so much emotion that has gone into this.
Well, I think it's just we battled through adversity. You know, we did our stuff, played hard, and came out on top.
So they got a little momentum on you guys in that second half. They took advantage of some turnovers. They get it in the end zone a couple of times and miss on the extra point. Was there any part of that second half where you guys got a little nervous defensively?
No, this year we've done a really good job of bending and not breaking, battling through adversity, and not letting people in the end zone.
Well, congratulations on the win. Celebrate it and get ready for the state tournament.
Yep, thank you.
You bet. There you go, Jaron Schneider joining us here. Let's talk a little bit more about that defensive line for you guys when you had to get some pressure. Also dialing up some blitzes when you had to, and I mean you just called it perfectly tonight when you did, because they weren't able to get away from you guys when you got pressure.
Yeah, our defense did a phenomenal job getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's hard. You're a sophomore quarterback, young kid. He's super talented. He's going to be a really good player. He made some plays with his legs, and he even got out of a few sacks we thought we had, and he extended. But, you know, we made the big plays when we needed to, and, you know, it works.
It worked, it did. And again, Caleb Garcia, freshman coming in and making so many plays again for you tonight. I mean, you just can't talk enough about the young guys that stepped up for you.
No, it's amazing to think about how young we are. When you say we have 4 seniors on defense, offensively, we have Kalen, Victor, who splits time, and we have Tanner and 1 offensive lineman, you know, Alan Ortega. So we only have 4 there that even play for our offense. You know, we're young, and it's nice to see these young guys grow up in front of us, and we're excited for the future.
Well, and you've got another week for the state tournament. I know you're going to worry about that when the pairings come out. You're going to enjoy this one.
Yep.
Michael, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Michael Don joining us here on the postgame show. Welcome back once again to Lee-Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl with a team that might be a little excited right now. The Eastmont Wildcats are the Big 9 champs. The Eastmont Wildcats have once again taken the Bridge of Sportsmanship. Now, you guys have a little something you want to sing for the crowd and for everybody who's watching at home. All right, here.
All right.
I'll go down here.
All right. Hey, after everything I say, you have to say.
See the camera, guys.
You have to say who after everything I say.
All right.
All right, ready? And we hit the field like, all day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, and squad like, going blue like, on the right like, and it sound like, and it sound like, and it sound like.
All right.
Let's go.
Congratulations to the Eastmont Wildcats, and hats off to the Wenatchee Panthers for playing a great game here tonight. 14-13 the final. Let's say it again.
Go Cats!
The Wildcats are champions. That's going to wrap it up here tonight for the Bridge of Sportsmanship at Lee-Bofto Field. Thanks to our entire crew for helping us out with the broadcast here tonight. And thank you for joining us on the NCW Life channel. Have a good night, everybody.
Hi. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good.
You look about as tired as I look.
Yeah. Kat's focusing in the camera on me, and she's going, those circles under your eyes are just, oh man, they're bad, aren't they? Wow, okay.
What an epic night last night. And I mentioned this when we did sports. It lived up to the billing. It did.
It did.
What a
And,
game.
you know, sometimes you don't have that. And the way the game started with Eastmont scoring on the first play from scrimmage and then jumping up 14-0, I thought, well, here we go. This might be something that we haven't seen ever before. In the 49 previous meetings, Eastmont had never, when their 12 wins, had never had, I think, more than a touchdown margin of victory. And last night, for a time, it looked like that might be the case. But here came Wenatchee reeling them back in. And what a fun game to call last night. And huge thanks to our entire crew. I didn't get a chance to name everybody last night. I mean, it took, what did I say, 13 people to put on that broadcast last night, and we hope you enjoyed it here on the NCW Life Channel.
It was a blast. Congratulations to the Eastmont Wildcats, and hey, congratulations to the Wenatchee Panthers. Eastmont only lost one game this year, and they lost to a very, very good team out of Spokane. No team in the Columbia Basin Big Nine played Eastmont better than the Panthers.
No, that's true.
Yeah. And one last little story, we talked about this last night. You know, they lost on a missed extra point. And I thought, the kid's going to be devastated. He's going to be devastated. Half an hour later, he's taking selfies with his friends and his teammates, and he's visiting with his friends from Eastmont High School. He was fine.
Yeah.
You know,
and we talked about that in the pregame show, that things for the kids today are a little different. I mean, it's happening now, it's happening here, and you think, oh my gosh, the losers are just going to be dragging this around for a month or the rest of their life, maybe. 15 minutes later, they're all right. Well, now we look forward to the winter sports season.
Will this game be available for you to peruse at your own enjoyment and your own time on our website? You better believe it.
Yeah.
Give us it takes a little while. You know, we'll send out we'll let you know when the game is available for you to watch.
Of course, the week got kind of messed up here with our scheduling for the NCW Life Channel. We had planned to broadcast that tonight. We were going to have hockey last night. It was supposed to be the start of our Thursday night hockey week here on the NCW Life Channel. I think we can put this together. I think we're going to rerun that football game tonight.
Oh, well, there you go. Decision's been made right there.
So if you missed it, if you missed any of it, we'll have it on the air tonight, 7 o'clock right here on the NCW Life Channel.
Speaking of on the air, on Tuesday night, beginning at 7:30, we will have live election coverage for Decision 2018. I know it's an off year, it's a mid-year election, but there's a lot of very important things that we need to talk about. Live coverage begins at 7:30. Eric will be in the anchor chair. Our news director, Cal Fitzsimmons, will be making the phone calls, running the ticker. We'll have a ticker up and running with all the latest results. I will be live at the Chelan County Courthouse about 4 or 5 blocks from here. I'll be there checking in with the various candidates who may be there at the courthouse and interviewing people as well. And we're endeavoring to get as many candidates in possible, either by telephone or right here in our studio.
Yeah, that's something we're going to run out for the first time as well next week when we have that election coverage. Starting at 7:30 on Tuesday night, so a half hour before the polls close. We're going to have Steve Hare in the news center as well, keeping an eye on what's happening. And then also Kerry Kandata is going to join us to kind of give us the scope of what's happening nationally and across the state.
Election coverage 7:30 as soon as we get the numbers, and we will get the numbers about as quick as anybody. Trust me on that. We will start running the numbers and talking about the winners and the losers and where we go from here. Election night coverage 2018. What are you doing this weekend? What do you got on the
sleeping?
Same here. I'm gonna sleep, and then I'm gonna take a nap, and then I'm gonna take
wake up and sleep.
I want to mention a couple things. Weather. First of all, if you're driving in the mountain passes today, I don't know if you know this or not. There's a flood advisory for all of the mountain passes. They are going to get heavy rain. Upwards of maybe, when it's all said and done by Monday morning, maybe a foot of rain on Stevens and on I-90, not so much on Blewett Pass. So they're not expecting any snow, but it's going to come down in buckets if you're heading into the mountain passes, standing water, especially on I-90. It's going to be a significant concern here in the valley. Here comes the wind. We have a wind advisory. It is in effect. It started about an hour ago. There are your peak winds this afternoon. Take a look at where you live, and that's what you're going to be dealing with. There's a cold front that's leaving the area. It's heading to Montana, by golly, and coming in right behind it is a very active storm system. There's your timeline. Look between 2 and 5. That's a good, strong, hard wind. Here in the Wenatchee Valley proper, right about the 40-mile-an-hour mark, pretty consistent for about an hour. Between about 2:30 to 3:30 is going to be the strongest winds. If your garbage can is empty, it's going to blow down the street or the alley. Heads up on that. So again, a wind advisory. You're going to have to deal with some strong winds. It will die down tonight. We are expecting some clouds and some light rain on Saturday, but Sunday doesn't look too bad. And all of those highs, Eric, all the way till Tuesday, above normal. It's warm out.
We're finally getting into the 30s next week.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the wind today, if you've been raking leaves, Malaga is going to get the brunt of it because it's all blowing west. So everything's going to blow to Malaga here later today.
There you go. I'm glad I have somebody else do that. Everybody have yourself a great weekend. Don't forget Eric will handle the news tonight at 5 o'clock. Until then, have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you Monday.